there's anyone who belongs to the streets, it's this guy. Hello everyone, it's Mr. Troll delivering an update. Now I was recently watching a Baba video where he was telling a story that was so insane that it sounded like a story a try-hard edgelord would come up with to seem cool, but no one would believe him. So if you don't know who Baba is this YouTuber who tells quote-unquote crazy stories. And when he says crazy stories, he means stories where he was freaking girls, or as he likes to put it, where he was
getting the devil's tango.
And in every single one of his videos he talks about freaking another girl. And the guy has 377 videos, which implies that his body count is over 300.
He needs help!
Now if you say that, oh, because he's from the modern generation and the modern generation does crazy stuff, I come from the same generation and even I can confirm that Thanos wielding Infinity Stones is more realistic than any one of his quote-unquote crazy stories. And I am 99.999% sure none of my friends in high school can relate to those stories from high school. Or maybe I simply went to a super tame high school. But anyways, I'm not necessarily saying that the guy is lying and that his stories are fake, even though they likely are. I'm just saying that his stories are so over the top and bizarre that if someone were to make a movie based off of his crazy stories, people would criticize the movie on Rotten Tomatoes for being too unrealistic. Anyways, let's talk about his video where he talks about how he apparently made a girl faint in the shower.
You see, 2 years ago today, I was just getting into my YouTube career. I just started streaming a lot more, and honestly, I really started to figure my life out, including me. So I highly advise you guys go check it out, kick.com/bubba, and the link will be down in the description below. But going on with the story,
only 1 minute in and is already humping a teddy bear. That's a good start.
2 years ago today, I remember basically one of the most craziest things happened.
That says a lot, since everything that happens during his life can be considered crazy by a normal person.
Where basically, I remember one time I was going on my phone, messaging some girls, you know, doing the same old average thing that I usually do. And since I lived by myself 2 years ago, and still do technically, I won't lie, it gets really lonely living by yourself. So I remember I would always invite people, including like a lot of girls, guys, sometimes to hang out with me and just chill, you know, simple things like that. But then I remember there was one girl that I actually ended up reaching out to, and this was a girl that was added on my Snapchat a long time ago. And by a long time ago, I mean like back when I was in high school a long time ago. Now this girl and I, we always had each other added, but we never really hit each other up. I think I added her from like a dating app or something. To be honest, I'm not really sure. But all I remember is that I sent a photo of like my place basically, of how I like changed the look of it somewhat. And for some reason, this girl decided to swipe up that day on that image I posted on Snapchat, and she ended up saying, "Oh my goodness, like your place looks so cool."
Is this his place? Yeah, I gotta admit, it does look cool.
You know, when she said that, honestly, first thing I decided to say to kind of like pull in the W Riz was, "Oh yeah, like you should come over and check it out sometime." And right when I said that, I'm not even joking, she jumped the opportunity like no tomorrow. Like no joke, she jumped straight forward saying, "Oh, like I'd be down like when you free." I guess today is what I told her. And then from there, I remember she got really excited and ended up saying that she'll be there around later at night.
Did I mention that every one of his stories is like that? Random girls just come to him like if he was Pete Davidson or something.
I ended up asking her why she wanted to come late at night, and she ended up saying that she was going to work and she had to work a full shift before coming to see me. And funny enough, her work wasn't actually even that far from me. She apparently worked at a club that was literally like a 2-minute walk from my place. So I said, sure, like I'm down, and me thinking that she's literally gonna come off work and basically come straight to my house. My guess was that she was probably gonna stay the night. Cause I don't know, after a hard day of work, do you really want to like, you know, bus all the way back home? I know I wouldn't. So I remember from there, I basically got cleaning up the place even more and basically made sure everything was ready. And then I remember midway through her shift, I remember I ended up getting a phone call. Now I found it weird that she called me because I never gave her my number. So I found it super weird. So when I answered the phone and I heard her voice, I said, "Oh, like, yo, by the way, like, how'd you get this number?" As we're like mid conversation about what we're gonna do tonight, she ended up saying how apparently she knew a friend that was a friend of mine as well that had my number. I don't know, some stalker stuff. I won't lie to you.
Stalker stuff, right. This story is so messed up that probably the Hollywood writing team wouldn't even come up with. Also, he mentioned that she worked a shift in a club. I guess it was one of those kind of clubs.
And I found it awkward, but I said, oh, like, it's fine. Like, you know, that's chill, whatever. It is what it is. And then basically just started talking about what I had planned. I ended up telling her how I was just going to order sushi and, to be honest, watch a movie. Because that's all I really wanted to do personally. But then she ended up saying, oh, like, okay, like, that's fine. Also, is it cool if I shower at your place? You want to shower at my place, is what I said. And then she ended up explaining how she doesn't want to stink while being with me and stuff because she literally just gets off work. And in my mind, I thought, yeah, it's true. In clubs, you do get stinky, you know, since she works at a club. So I ended up telling her it was fine and that, you know, I'll have a towel set up for her. And at that point, I remember right afterwards, she ended up asking, oh, like, do you have like a pair of sweatpants? Yeah, I do, is what I said. And it got to the point where it was super weird for me because not only was she gonna come over and shower, she was also going to literally wear my clothing, which is, I guess, awkward in its own situation.
Spoiler alert, it's gonna get even more awkward soon.
But I decided to pull it aside and say, you know what? We're older now. We're adults. Who cares? You know, it's just clothing and taking a shower. It can't be that big of a deal. Anyways, as the day was going on, I remember basically I kept doing my work, which was basically streaming and recording and making these crazy videos that you guys enjoy. And then I ended up getting a message midway through a recording where it was her saying, oh, like, I got off early. I'm going to come over. Wait, what? Apparently she literally cut 4 hours off her shift just to like come over, I guess, and see me. I have no idea. But as odd as it sounded, I remember I said, you know, it's whatever, it's fine. And I ended up letting her come over. When she came over, I remember I went downstairs since I live in an apartment and basically went to go get her and brought her upstairs. And when I brought her into my place, I'm not gonna lie, she was amazed that I was a YouTuber.
Yup, I'm also a YouTuber. Wish me luck.
I remember basically as like me and her were just talking and we sat on the couch, she instantly got up after like 2 minutes of sitting down on the couch telling me how her work shift was and said, okay, like, so like, can I take a shower? I ended up saying yeah, and I ended up basically taking her to the bathroom. I showed her around just to make sure she kind of gets the gist of the area, I guess. And she automatically said, oh, like, okay. And then that's when I started to leave the bathroom. But as I started to leave the bathroom, I remember this girl was like, where are you going? I'm leaving to go to my desk, is what I said to her. And then she ended up saying, oh, like, you're not gonna join me for the shower? Why would I do that, is what I said. And then that's automatically when she started taking off her clothing, and I realized that this girl wanted to do the devil's tango.
Here's an impossible challenge. Take a shot every time he says
devil's tango. And well, if you know me well enough, you know that I never turn down the devil's tango.
And another shot.
So at that point, I remember I started taking off my clothing. We went into the shower and we ended up doing the devil's tango.
"20 minutes later."
Damn, man, he's messed up.
So as we were doing it in the shower, I remember basically the hot water was put all the way to the max because, you know, I guess she likes taking hot showers. And me and her, we were just doing it. But I remember as I was hitting it from the back out of nowhere, and I mean it, this was literally out of nowhere, she told me that, you know, she was tired and she needed to stop. I remember I like literally stopped everything I was doing and I literally decided to literally say, okay, well, like, you know, I'll stop. And then for some reason she was, you know, basically doing her normal shower routine, but out of nowhere, and I mean it, this was really out of nowhere, the girl ended up fainting. She fainted in my shower. Now at that point, I was freaking out. I was thinking, whoa, okay, what's going on here? Why'd she just faint? I thought she was maybe trolling.
I think Baba is the one who's actually trolling here. And this pisses me off, because no one is allowed to troll harder than Mr. Troll.
So I remember I ended up saying, okay, just get up, stop joking around. But she wasn't getting up. So at that point, I was freaking out. I'm like, okay, this is not good. This is the worst thing that could probably happen. Okay, this is really bad. So I start freaking out. I start, you know, panicking. And it got to the point where I decided to do the one thing that I was told to do when someone faints. And that's when I called 911. I remember I called 911 and automatically the ambulance came and, you know, one thing led to another. I had to explain to the cops what happened. When I looked at the police officers looked at me really weird because my hair was wet and so was hers. So they looked at me and said, oh, like, were you guys just at the pool? Oh, no, we were in the shower. Oh, so this is your girlfriend, is what the cop said to me. No, it's just a girl that I decided to hang out with for the first time today, is what I said afterwards. He looked at me really awkwardly and said, so you guys were in the shower together and then she just fainted? And then that's when I told him that I inserted my massive eggplant into her and one thing led to another. She fainted. I remember the cops looked at me super awkwardly and like out of nowhere, like, the cop was just really weirded out. Because, you know, it's not normal for a guy with such a massive eggplant, aka me, to make a girl faint out of nowhere.
Yeah, imagine telling the police that you were having the
Devil's Tango
with a girl you just met in the shower and that she then fainted and apparently remained unconscious.
So at that point, I remember basically he ended up saying, oh, like, do you want to come with her to the hospital? And as much as I didn't want to personally,
Let me get this straight. You fricked a girl that you cared so little about that you did not even want to go to the hospital with her when she fainted.
Man can only cheat if he loves someone else. If I have a woman who I truly love, and I go out and fuck, and I come back to her, and I don't care about her, and I only love my girl, that's not cheating. That's exercise. If she even talks to a dude, it's cheating.
Yeah, I don't care if you're a man or a woman. If you go around fricking people you care so little about, you are a 304 by definition.
I knew that the cop already had a bad idea of me, so I decided to be a nice guy and basically tag along for the ride and go to all the way to the hospital just to realize that her blood sugar was low. Yeah, don't get me wrong, it was a super awkward experience, but it's one thing for sure to say that hopefully maybe, you know, next time, maybe she should eat like a cookie before I do her in the shower.
Yeah, but he did not mention what happened afterwards. He never mentioned the girl waking up and regaining consciousness, so I can only assume that the girl must have died.